Hi friends, I'm back. I sure missed everybody last week, but y'all wouldn't have want to seen me. It was pretty rough. So I'm about a minute early, so I'll chat while everybody's jumping in here. And I thank Sarah so much for taking the wheel at Tuesday Triumphs last week. I noticed she had on tie-dye and I have on tie-dye. So we do, our minds, we tend to think alike a whole lot of the time. It's kind of scary, actually. Hey, Miss Sarah, how are you, my friend? Come on in. You're the first comment I see pop up. I see there's a couple other people here. There's Linda. Hi, Linda. And Lydia. Hey, come on in. Linda, I enjoyed our visit last night in the Zoom. That was so nice. Oh, it's good to be back. Sarah, she said, now you don't have to until you feel like it. And my husband said, are you sure you feel like this? And I said, I need this. I need this. I need to visit with my people. It's more healing for me than laying up in the bed. It's so good to see you guys. Well, I see you. See you guys too. I see you. For those of you that missed my thank you, Terry. It's good to be back. I told Randy, he said, are you sure you feel like this? And I said, I need it. I need to visit with my people. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Funny you should say that I look good, because Sarah, our Sarah, had messaged me earlier and double checking on me, saying, you sure you feel like this? And I said, oh yeah, I'm good. Now let me turn, we've learned I have to turn my light down, haven't we? So you can see my phone. I told her, I said, yeah, I'm ready to, well, now that's too dark. This is a little bit more real than anybody ought to be, I think, maybe. Anyway, that was a couple hours ago, 3 or 4 hours. I'd been in bed and hadn't had a shower yet. So, well, thank you, Kate. I'm proud to be back. Thank you. For those of you that missed my excitement of the week, I was the winner of a uterine prolapse. And about a month ago, it took a while to get on the surgery schedule. About a month ago, when I seen the doctor, he said, yep, well, you got to have a hysterectomy. Oh, Maura, honey, I missed you too. My socks don't match. I feel bad. I'm proud you can't see my feet. I've got on blue polka dotted socks. But he said, well, the only way we can fix this is with a hysterectomy. And it was a transvaginal hysterectomy with a rectal hernia repair. I have no external incisions or anything like that. But whoa, mama, did I way underestimate? Oh, thank you. Y'all are too sweet. Thank you. Did I way underestimate that surgery? Look better than I did a little bit ago, don't I, Sarah? I way underestimated the surgery. I didn't think it would be that bad. I thought having skin removal after weight loss was pretty rough. I thought having abdominal hernia repair, I thought that was just horrible. And I don't know what I thought this would be. Just a sneeze and I'd be fine. Yeah, it was pretty painful. Way more pain than I bargained for. So, but you know what? We can do hard things. And thank you. I looked fabulous earlier. I showed them that picture. And you know what? Y'all know I live in the country on a dead-end dirt road. So, like, I got out and walked around in my pajamas looking just like that, just as ugly as I could. Nobody went through, thankfully. So, I don't know what I done that my hair was all crazy today. But yes, I have survived. I've learned every surgery. I have learned it's like having kids. They're all different. Light at the end of the tunnel. Amen, Helene. Every surgery is a little bit different. This is actually the 8th surgery I've had in my 56 years. So, not my first rodeo, but every one of them's a little different. I had never had anesthesia problems until I had the skin removal surgery, and that was a 6-hour surgery. And with that, I had a lot of problems with nausea and vomiting. Hi, Miss Sally. Mwah, I love to see you. I watched church Sunday from the recliner, and Brother Brad called me yesterday. Miss Sally's my good friend from church. I am glad. Yeah, well, I had done shut that door down years ago anyway. I'm glad it's over and done with too. I just say that's that many less parts to have to worry about tearing up down the road. So I'm proud, definitely proud I'm healing. But um, if you have nausea with anesthesia, what works for me, my doctor prescribes it. It's called a scopolamine patch. It's kind of like a motion sick patch. It goes behind my ear. So I wore that for 3 days, starting the morning of surgery. And I don't know if it was the scopolamine patch or if I just reacted different with anesthesia this time. Always before, food tasted like food. This time, nothing tasted right. I went over 24 hours without eating anything. Well over, like 36 hours without eating anything. And then when I started eating, nothing, basically eggs and potato is all that tasted like it should. And that has gotten better. And then I had a couple of days where everything was really good, and I made up for not eating for 36 hours, which has been not fun. So my weigh-in, kind of dread my weigh-in on Saturday. I think I'll be okay, but it's going to cut it close. And apparently ice cream always tastes like ice cream. I learned that. And chocolate always tastes like chocolate. So I've eaten way too much sherbet and ice cream, and I can no longer use that excuse because food's tasting normal now. Coffee even didn't taste right. So food tastes normal, coffee tastes normal. No more ice cream as an excuse. Well, I haven't eaten anything, so I should sit down with a tub, right? No. That's stinking thinking that doesn't get me anywhere. I do want to share, I don't even know if this is even a recipe or not, but I fixed it yesterday and it was so good. I've been on I'm really not much of a pasta person, but I've been on a tortellini kick ever since my ladies' luncheon in February where somebody brought tortellini. That is serious, Sarah, yes. Like I had a half a cup 2 mornings in a row. Now that was bad. So I knew the day that I got 2 cups, I was on the mend. Anyway, this is just what my local grocery store has. It's Giovanni Roma Rana. I don't know, whoever that is. But it's 5 cheese tortellini. These little dudes are about half cooked. If you've never bought the tortellini, thank you, Betsy. It's about that size. And there's 1,001 ways you can make tortellini, but the skinny way I make it, and I made this for myself last night and had it for lunch today, so it didn't take any standing and cooking and any exertion. But I weighed out 2 servings of the tortellini and put it in a skillet with, I'm in love with fire roasted tomatoes, fire roasted diced tomatoes. Now I did add some Italian seasoning to them, and there's enough liquid in here that it plumps back up the tortellini. And I don't know, I just let it kind of simmer for 10 minutes or so, added Parmesan, and it was good to go. I would have added some mozzarella had I had any. I could have added meat to it, but the protein count was pretty high. The point count was pretty high too. It has 11 grams of protein in a serving, so that was enough protein. It would be really good with chicken or like ground turkey, but that was quick, and it was a hot meal. And I hadn't been eating a lot of hot meals. I just hadn't wanted them. I just sandwiches and junk. So if you find yourself needing something quick, fire roasted tomatoes, throw you some Italian seasoning in it, and a couple of cups of the tortellini, and it made two dishes for me. I had it again at lunch today. So, and tonight I had stir fry vegetables. So I finally got back into vegetables and some chicken. So I'm semi-cooking. It's pre-cooked, so I'm calling it cooking. So in my convalescence, I have had way too much time on my phone. Oh girl, I love those fire roasted tomatoes. There's just something about them. They taste so good. I've got to where whenever I pick up groceries, I always get a couple of cans and stick back. Seems like they're richer. something like that. But anyway, I have learned a brand new concept, or at least it's a new concept to me. Have you ever heard of fridgescaping? That's one word, fridgescaping. Like landscaping, fridgescaping. And apparently it's like a trend. And I'm not that trendy, I'm afraid. I go for comfort and ease of functionality. But apparently fridgescaping is a thing. And I got to looking. They had all kinds of themed refrigerators like the Hobbit, Victorian, Halloween, just Harry Potter, everything you could think of. You've heard of fridgescaping, Sarah? I'm impressed. That was a new one, new wrinkle. Our neighbor, bless her heart, she's gone now. She used to say, "No, that's a new wrinkle on my horn." Well, that was a new wrinkle on my horn because I had never heard of fridgescaping. To me, you just need to clean your refrigerator out pretty bad. But anyway, I got to looking and reading about it and applying it to weight loss and looking at how mine too, girl. I'm still rocking the excuse I can't do any lifting for a few weeks, and light duty. I've wounded paw syndrome, light duty. So when I recuperate properly, I'll get to this. But we actually had a Weight Watchers workshop. It's been almost a couple of years ago that I led, and part of that workshop was making your refrigerator, well, me either, Suzanne, making your refrigerator work for you. So then at that time, I was the leader, so I had to do it and show pictures. But I went just to the Dollar Tree. You guys know me, I'm cheapskate, and bought like shelf liners and plastic baskets, bins type thing, and made everything matchy, and it looked so pretty, and it lasted for so long. And yeah, well, you know how all those good plans go. But this fridgescaping, I'm sure you could take it to the point of ridiculous, but for our weight loss and healthy eating choices, there is something we can learn from this. Now, after I get off of here, I'm going to post a link, hopefully, fingers crossed, of a checklist I've got downloaded where it tells you exactly what to do to clean out your refrigerator. We all know how to clean out a refrigerator, but sometimes it's good to say, remove everything from your fridge. It's like, okay, got that. It's like somebody holding our hand. Hi, Brenda. Yeah, me too. I'm just lazy that way. Yeah. But this fridgescaping, I posted the picture. There were some beautiful refrigerators that even had like little pictures inside of them. Some of them had fresh flowers inside and just almost too pretty. Hi, Christina. Almost too pretty to eat. But the main thing with this fridgescaping is creating the yes zone. That's all I was thinking, Carla. Even as I recuperate, there's, how many steps is there here? It breaks it down into 7 steps. We don't have to do all 7 of them in one day. If you do 1 or 2 steps a day, then that's good. The next day or 3, do a couple more. So I liked it. I'm going to post that. Hopefully it'll be a printable for you. But, with the Holy Mess, one thing we talk about is creating a yes zone. That means that if you have your candy in a clear dish and it makes you want to eat it, then you should put it in a dish that isn't clear. You're more apt to grab what's in front of you. So have a fruit bowl on the table instead of a candy bowl on the table. That's creating a yes zone. Knowing that you're going to eat all the ice cream, like I have done, don't buy 2 different kinds. Buy 1 in a small container. All of those are examples of creating the yes zone. Maybe, Maura, I'm for that. It's too pretty to eat. I wouldn't eat the flowers, I don't think. So, but they had some. You can Google Fridgescaping pictures, just beautiful pictures. Some of it a little, like I said, a little ridiculous, but still yet much prettier than 3 layers of bowls in there and things falling out and you slam the door real quick. You know, we've all been there, done that. Or the bag of like the, I don't know what it is or what it used to be or what it even started out being. You know, we all find those bags. Kathy says she has a tiny fridge and have to clean it before you go grocery shopping. That's proper motivation, right? Right there. So in creating a yes zone in our refrigerator, one thing we need to think about is having the healthier foods easy to get to. You know, in the door, most of us keep mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, pickles, the condiment type of stuff, barbecue sauce, that kind of thing. That's what I've got in my door. But what would it look like in your refrigerator if you created a yes zone? Thank you, Lena. It's good to be back. Where when you open your refrigerator, instead of seeing like the tortellini front and center, because this is refrigerated, which is better than some things it could be. What if I opened it and my Greek yogurt was front and center? What if I opened it and prepped fruits and vegetables were the first thing I said? Well, it was new to me, Paula. I'm not all up to date on this TikTok and Twitter business, so I do well to manage Facebook. But Fridgescaping makes perfectly good sense. So to make Fridgescaping, or just cleaning up your refrigerator, work for us for weight loss, it's just like everything else we do in creating this yes zone, but it's inside our refrigerator. You know, I am much less likely to go ice cream hunting if it's in the bottom of a chest freezer and I have to unload 5 things to get to the ice cream. That's true, you do get extra exercise. If I open the little refrigerator freezer and there the ice cream is, it's so easy. It's much harder to go dig it out of a chest freezer where you have to bend over and get down in it and dig. Not that I've been opposed to doing that. You just did this yesterday, Lois. All right, good deal. So to encourage healthy choices, when foods look pretty and look appetizing, that's what draws us to want to eat them. So having whatever, like your berries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, if those are in the front, washed, prepped, and ready, you're more apt to pick that when you go snack hunting, you know. Like I'm on a, we used to sing that to kids, I'm on a bear hunt. I'm on a snack hunt, and I'm in my refrigerator, and there's leftovers maybe. There may be pudding cups, yogurt. But what if the blueberries were the first thing I see? They're naturally low in calories, much healthier. What if that was the first thing? And I reached for it instead of less healthier things, or going into an ice cream hunt. So studies show, scientific proven, that we eat more of what is in our direct line of sight. You know, I am by nature lazy as I can be, and if I have to put forth a whole lot of effort into getting something like ice cream out of the bottom of the big freezer, I'm less likely to do that as I am to say, oh well, I'll just have some yogurt and berries, because that, I like that too. Okay, it reduces temptation. It says keeping processed or high calorie foods. I immediately thought of cheese. I love cheese. These little tortellinis are stuffed with, of course I got the 5 cheese, you notice, not the spinach one. Ricotta, mozzarella romano, mascarpone, and fontina. That's the 5 cheeses that's in that. So, you know, I would just like eat the cheese. Cheese is not of the devil. It's not bad. Food has no morals, but there are less healthier options. And where we're at for the day, on spending calories or points, it may be something that we need to choose a lesser calorie or lesser point item. So keeping the higher calorie, higher point foods out of sight or in containers that you can't visualize helps reduce the temptation. Who was that? I can't remember, but growing up, maybe it was my cousin, back when the inside of a truck was all metal, like the dash was metal, you know, there was a magnet in there, and it says, I don't have to tempt myself, or the devil doesn't have to tempt me, I tempt myself. Yes, I don't have to necessarily be tempted for temptation to fall on me when I open my refrigerator door and there's a bucket of chicken sitting there, you know, leftover KFC, for instance. That, alongside a little naked grilled chicken breast, you know, that's a lot of temptation. If you're fishing for some cold chicken and you open your refrigerator door and there sits the KFC versus a little piece of grilled chicken. Same with cheese. I really like cheese. I keep the cheese in my refrigerator all the way down in the right crisper drawer. I can't see it at all. I have to go in search. My cell phone is literally ringing. And it's spam. Y'all get spam calls all the time. It drives me nuts. So the reason I do that is I have to say, oh, this would be good with cheese. I need to get cheese. There's not slices in my door. There's not a bag I can open and grab a handful and throw in and think, yeah, that's probably 28 grams. No, it's probably half a cup. I have to go pull out the bin, select the cheese, and then put it back. So it at least slows you down in those quick decisions like that. Meal prep is easier if you know where everything's at. How many of us, raise your hand if you're guilty like I am, just knew there was a head of lettuce in there somewhere? I just knew there was another lettuce head. I can't believe we've eaten all the lettuce. Or I know I had a bag that had 3 tomatoes in it. There was 3 Roma tomatoes in that bag. And I remember exactly where I put them. I threw them on top of everything else, just where they should be. And, oh, you know, 2 weeks later, you find a drippy, yucky bag of, I don't know, frozen lettuce that's melted. And it's like, so that's where that went. It fell to the back. So not only does making our fridge work for us, make it easier in cooking and finding things, but it's cost effective because we're less likely to lose things. I know my refrigerator, if something, the produce gets too far to the back, it's bad to freeze, like spinach, that kind of thing. So I have a special place I keep my produce so it doesn't freeze as bad. Got a special place for my milk. The coffee creamer needs to go away. I'm not even drinking it anymore. I probably just need to throw it away. Grab and go meals. That's something that's really good to have in your refrigerator. My sister right there. Grab and go meals, things that you can quickly portion out. Like, yours freezes too? Yeah. Certain places in it, just like the airflow, I guess, isn't as good as it should. But pre-portioned cups of yogurt, pre-portioned berries even. If you're bagging them up, washing them, bagging them up. Grapes is one thing that is good for me to have pre-portioned. I'm okay with blueberries and raspberries, mainly because they come in small containers. But grapes, I mean, I can grab a handful of grapes every time if I'm not really careful and not being mindful. So, you know, having things prepped in little bags, that's a cup, ready to go. You know when you grab out of that, that's a cup. Keeping your proteins together helps too, like if you've got lunch meat, leftover chicken, whatever, eggs. So group things with your protein selections together, just like you were building a bowl. Your protein selections together, your vegetable selections, your fruit selections, your yogurt, milk, dairy, that kind of thing. Condiments, if there is a particular condiment I used to be really bad about ketchup until I realized how much sugar ketchup had in it. So ketchup and I, very rarely, occasionally, I want ketchup. And I no longer eat mayonnaise from a jar. I'm down to light mayonnaise in a very small bottle that I do occasionally use. But not only does it make your refrigerator, well, don't you love it when you open somebody's refrigerator and everything, I've got a daughter-in-law that way, everything is just boop, 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 boop. And the last baby they had, I went and kept little Miss Ellie while they had Connor, and they had left me directions because I didn't know how to raise kids on everything Ellie liked. But the refrigerator, I was so impressed. It was like the eggs were boiled, peeled in containers like this. Cheese was cubed in containers, right like this. You could go through, open a container and put it over here and fix your lunch in 2 seconds. The fruit was pre-cut and washed. It just made it so much more simple with a toddler to just go and get it out, and there it was. And then she also told me that my son, he would fix his own snacks for lunch and meals part of the time for lunch. And she said that she always kept things like that so that he could fix his own stuff. He could go in and grab 3 boiled eggs and some crackers for breakfast or whatever. And I thought, wow, y'all are so good. Did not get this from your mother. So good. But having things grab and go, that lettuce head I was talking about that has rolled to the back and fell down and frozen and got weird, you know, if we have our lettuce already cut up, torn up, in a bag, washed and ready to go, it makes making a salad so easy. You open it up, grab your greens, chopped tomato, onion, bell pepper, stack it all back up, and it just makes making a salad really quick and makes us much more apt to do it because it's quick and easy. I'm all about quick and easy. I need to look into pantry-scaping next. That's what I'm needing to do, is go through the pantry. On Saturday, you make a salad for the week. Oh, and a fruit salad too, Lois. That's a great idea. Absolutely a great idea. But to remind ourselves to maintain this new habit, the little checklist that I'll post the link to download and hopefully print, it says hang this on your refrigerator to remind yourself to keep it all tidy and in place. But I think it's a great idea to Fridgescape. Which food would you be most apt to put out of sight, and which food would you want in sight? Prepped salad makings would be something I would want to be able to see right away, because maybe I'm having a sandwich for lunch and then decide, well, you know, I'll just have a salad with it instead of chips. All right, good job, Lena. What I don't want to see, I don't want to see cheese. And it's not because it's bad, it's because I can eat a serving of cheese, cutting up a serving of cheese. I like it really well. I don't need to see butter. I don't even have butter in my refrigerator. Oh, girlfriend, the Cool Whip, the Ready Whip, the canned stuff. Yes, yes. Yeah, I had to break up with the Ready Whip. I had too much of that around Christmas. Cheese out of sight for Maura. Absolutely. You know, if you share a fridge with other people, the reason I don't share my fridge with other people is the beef allergy. They have beef in their refrigerator, so I keep all of my food beef away. But if I was using their refrigerator, I would have probably a gallon of whole milk alongside almond milk. So make your milk, if you don't drink whole milk, if you drink skim milk, 1%, or a nut milk, make it what you see just as quick as when you see a gallon of whole milk. I do like whole milk, of course. It's good. So, you know, it's a little harder when you're sharing your refrigerator, but you can also take this like into the treat box concept and claim a bin in the refrigerator. Like I said, the Dollar Tree's got these little baskets this big, and say, these are my snacks. Thou shalt not eat from my bins. And, you know, designate you a little corner of the refrigerator as your food. That's your spot. And if they want some of your stuff, then, you know, come ask. I'll share. Don't even buy Cool Whip. I haven't bought any in a while, Carla, because I guarantee you I will eat it if I have it. Absolutely. Yes, I need to do that. One of the pictures I've seen on the Fridgescaping, they had like a really pretty kind of a stoneware vase in there. And I was doing like this, looking, trying to figure it all out. And I thought, they've got flowers, which some of them did have fresh flowers in their refrigerator. You know what they had sticking in that? Stalks of celery. And I thought, oh my gosh, I would so eat celery if it was all washed and looking all pretty and decorative. I'd grab one of those every day. Will I go to the bottom of the refrigerator, open the crisper, and prep one? No, because I'm too lazy. I do like the idea of jars too, Janet. I like that idea. I use mason jars a lot. Like if I do like prep oatmeal, overnight oatmeal, I do that in mason jars. I also, like if I make a big batch of soup, that's how I store it in the refrigerator, is in mason jars. It just stores better and it's just easier for me. And I have a buku of jars from canning season. So yeah, I need to do that with my fruits and vegetables. I've never done that in the jars, but I've heard it makes them last a lot longer. Absolutely longer. So I'm going to work on this as a part of recovery very slowly. Going through the checklist with you, what it says to Fridgescape. Number 1 is take everything out of your refrigerator. I think that's where I go wrong in cleaning. Oh, I bet it does. I bet it looks so pretty. And like when I done that thing for Weight Watchers that time, and I put down shelf paper, it was so pretty. It was like a turquoise shelf paper, and I had turquoise baskets, and it just looks so pretty and so nice, and it don't anymore. I need to definitely step up my game. When I start cleaning out the refrigerator, if I don't do the door first, I get everything done and then just say, I'll do the door later. Well, later never comes, and the door stays weird and bottles fall out and yada, yada, yada. So the first thing they say is take everything out of your refrigerator. Throw away what's no longer identifiable or outdated or unwanted. Exactly. You know, we never do empty them. I mean, I know we all clean our refrigerators, but I do it in sections. You know, it's like, well, let me take everything off of this shelf. So everything goes back into the same discombobulated shape it came out, just less of it, which is good. But that's the first thing. Take everything out. It's kind of like taking an inventory. Throw away and wipe it all down with a natural cleaner. It never seems to stay that way. I do have my closet half organized. I have long sleeves on one end that I need to, when summer comes, rotate to the back and bring the short sleeves up. That's about as organized as I am. I stepped on a dog toy. Okay, the next thing, categorize your foods. We talked about that. Fruits together, veggies together, proteins, dairy, snacks. Put those together. Use clear containers and organizers like the basket bins, the jars. Your fridge is practically, well, this is going to be an easy one for you, Karen. That's not fair. Yeah, shelf at a time. Same here, Paula. And this was a good idea. I don't know that it would work for me, but it said a lazy Susan is good to set condiments on in your refrigerator. Now, to me, it would take up a lot of room, and they would not stay on the lazy Susan, probably, unless it had sides. But it said a lazy Susan is good for small items. So if you had a small lazy Susan and had your jars on that, and, you know, spin the wheel, come on down. Is it fruits or vegetables? You put paper towels. That's a good idea to soak. I do that when I boil eggs. after they cool and everything, I still eat before I put them in a Ziploc bag. I put a paper towel in there so it soaks up the moisture and I don't have wet eggs. Place the healthy food where you can see it at eye level when you open your refrigerator. Prep some grab-and-go snacks. Nuts can go in the refrigerator. That's okay. Nuts, yogurt, veggies into little containers. I've done that before, those little portioned containers. It works. Does it work, Suzanne, to put the Lazy Susan in there? I have never thought of doing that. Yeah, and I have Lazy Susan. I have one on my dining table with all the table spices on it. Carly, you feel like you want to get busy? Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to like put up groceries in an organized fashion instead of I'm throwing this bag in there and I'll deal with it later? Geez, this is confession time for me. Store your greens and herbs properly. To properly store an herb, it says to keep them, fresh herbs, in a jar of water. I know I have bought fresh herbs before and they do not last very long. So it says to keep fresh herbs in jars of water, and leafy greens in sealed containers with paper towels, just like Sarah said. Great for jelly and pickles. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, make it pretty. We're drawn to things that are pretty. Organize like by color, shelf paper in the bottom. Not only does it make cleanup easier because you can just rip that stuff out, but it's easy to wipe and it makes it pretty. Whenever I done that thing for Weight Watchers, I didn't stick it down, but like I cut shelf liners and put in the door of the refrigerator so everything had a shelf. I bought little baskets to hold the condiments in, and it was so much easier and lasted a very long time. So that, I guess, could be a challenge for this week, but I can't do it all this week. But, I can sit in a chair and clean the door of the refrigerator. I'm fairly certain. So, anyway, let me know what you think about it. And those of y'all that are in the Bible study group, you're going to recognize tonight's Crumbs from the Table. That verse, I missed it, first of all. When I done the trivia question, I missed it. And then that put me in the Bible. I like the herbs and water too. You could drink the water, I guess, too. Like mint water. That would be good. But that verse, or our trivia question, since I missed it, I had to look and learn. And then I didn't like what it said. At war with myself. But the answer for the trivia question comes from Ecclesiastes 6, verse 7, and this is our Crumbs from the Table for tonight. All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. Now, I told you guys I didn't much like that when I read it. When God puts something out there and it stomps your toes, I go back and I reread it 2 or 3 times, usually looking for a loophole, and when I see that there's not a loophole, then I think, well, how is this going to apply to me, because it's stepping on some toes here. So all the labor, all our work we do is for our mouth. Think about that. Think about how much time we spend eating, planning, cooking, shopping, working to make money to buy food. All of that to put something here. And then it says, and yet the appetite is not filled. We still want more. And, that really spoke to me, because I can prep, I can shop, I can have all the food in the house, not be lacking anything in the food department, make anything I want because I've got all the ingredients, yet my appetite is not filled. And that's where just the longing for food comes in, and where I tend to wander off into the I have peanut butter, I could have a peanut butter sandwich, into let's just take the peanut butter in the spoon or take the ice cream. So that all this food talk and you have to get a Greek yogurt and blueberries, I still have a few points and calories left for today. So I'm doing good on that. Uh, I'm still continuing to snack on almonds when I get the snackies. I have them in a pill box, a new pill box, I'll add, with 12 almonds in each little day's container. So I know, and I think it's 73 calories and 2 or 3 points. I know whenever I empty that little day's worth, and I don't hardly ever eat them all at one time. Like if I get hungry and it's like 11, I'll just get me 3 or 4 of those almonds and eat. And that has really helped my wanting to eat and snacks. Now, whether it has cured chocolate cravings, I have yet to say, but I've learned that I don't have to eat a whole lot to be satisfied. And that verse, we do everything we can, but our appetite isn't filled. And think on that this week. What would it take to fill your appetite? Some days there's no bottom to it, is there? Just no days at all. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. It is so wonderful to sit here and talk with you guys. I missed you so much. I thank you all for your love and prayers and messages and just everything, for thinking of me and keeping me in your thoughts and checking on me. It means the absolute world to me. So, all right, I'm going to hop off here, and I guess I will see everybody Friday for Faithful Fridays. We're back in business, Lord willing, and everything keeps trucking good. And I am not going to pop a sweat at nothing. I promise. I'm going to just rest. I'm good at that. Love you guys. Bye-bye.